France has a large presence at Pacific 2015, the international maritime exposition currently held in Sydney, Australia. At the forefront of this French defense industry presence is DCNS. We had a chance to talk to the company's CEO and the French ambassador.
DCNS has a lot of ambitions in Australia, and we have done our strategic exercise in all this year, which has been presented to our board in July, and Australia came out of the 6 biggest potential countries for DCNS. This is due to several factors. One is really the relationship at government level between France and Australia, which are extremely good. And France is a player in Pacific with Noumea, but also in Indian Ocean. And so I think we can be really a strategic partner for Australia. The second reason is that it is a very large country. This needs ocean-wide capabilities. It needs really high-level capability for first-rank frigates as well. And it means that, in fact, our navies have very similar needs. And when our navies have very similar needs, the industry have very similar ambitions. And that's why we are very keen to develop here. We have a settled company now in Canberra 11 months ago. We are now close to 50 people, and we want to grow further very quickly. Today, the year of the Shortfin Barracuda, which is our new class for submarines, which is offered to Australian Navy, into this competition which is ongoing with Japanese and Germans. This is a very high standard submarine, which is derived for the Barracuda class, which is a nuclear submarine, first of class going at sea in the next 2 years in Cherbourg. We are proposing to Australia through this strategic partnership to benefit from all the background of our nuclear submarines, but also for a sea-proven design and devices that we have offered on our Shortfin class, which is a classical propulsion submarine we have offered to India, to Brazil, to Malaysia, to Chile. The strengths of DCNS, I believe, first is the strategic view we have jointly with our government to be a long-term partner. But I think we have 2 very peculiar strengths. The first one is this boat exists. So we are really a safe choice. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. Most of it is sea-proven. The second, I think, aspect is that we are probably the only one to have a full range of designs from 2,000 tons to 13,000 tons. And naval architecture is not an art of extrapolation. It has created disasters. You cannot just add 1 meter and add 1 meter and add 1 meter and just look what happens, you know. And 4,000 tons is exactly in the middle of the range of submarines we have. So the loop of architecture and the balance of the design is already, in fact, given by our experience in our previous SSN and SSBN class. And the second aspect, I believe, of value for Australia is that our company is dual, meaning that we are doing new build, but also support and maintenance for the French Navy, but also for Saudi, for Egypt, for Morocco, and for others. So we have an understanding of what means long-term sustainability, sovereign needs of a country to monitor the evolution of their ships, and what means the sort of continuum in terms of know-how between new build and in-service support. And this is a discussion we have with ASC, which hopefully would be our future partner, that there is an absolute need of a good understanding between the needs for in-service support and the needs for new build.
What I can tell is that we are, of course, proud to be here and very ambitious for the next month and years. First, there is already quite an important industrial French footprint here in this country in defense, with companies like Thales, harbours that have, sold and produced a lot of very sensitive and I think efficient equipments for the Australian Defence Forces. And ambitious because we want to be even a greater partner in the coming years of this country, and especially in the field of Navy and as far as submarines are concerned, we want to become the partner of the country, of Australia. Of course, with DCNS, the French shipyard that belongs to the state, that has a very long experience and that produces probably the best submarines in the world, but also having in mind that France is offering a government-to-government agreement that will add on top of all that DCNS can provide a very large range of cooperations between the two countries for the next generations and even more. You know that we are neighbors in the Pacific, and France has its biggest maritime border with Australia. We have around 1 million French citizens living in the Pacific and in the Indian Oceans, in our French territories. We still have a lot of Navy people and also pilots and aircraft, military, that are cooperating very closely with Australia. If you take into account, for instance, what happened in Vanuatu a few weeks ago, the cyclone, we worked very closely with Australia in the days following the cyclone to provide help, food and humanitarian assistance to Vanuatu. So you see that France is both a neighbor and an active partner in the region, and we really think that for us it's a true asset because we understand pretty well what are the challenges of the region. We see how Australia is a growing power in the region, but we also think that this country, this great country of Australia, needs a greater partnership with other countries such as France. That's what we are offering, both an industrial and a political partnership for the coming years.